Hello, my beautiful, beautiful friends. My name is Lorelei Fenton, and I'm your roving Ancient Awakenings reporter. And in my private life, I'm what they call a transformational personal growth coach, which actually kind of means big growth real quick. So we're talking today about the Ancient Awakenings channeling, which was on May 20th, 2018. And in this channeling, Sananda actually stepped aside to allow a very special individual who was called the Guardian of the New Dispensation. And he stepped aside to allow him to speak. And after that, we had one who serves come with more words of wisdom and also to answer our questions. So this guardian started by saying he had not been with us for some time. And he had said a while ago that he would not return again until the vibration had been increased enough for the beginning of the new dawn of the earth, so to speak. So now here he is, and we are nearly there. Woo! Now we've heard many times, he said, that we're on the cusp and near the crescendo. But man's consciousness changes moment by moment, apparently, so we never know when the actual event will occur. And by the way, if you don't know what the event is, it's a huge wave, which is preceded by many sort of mini waves. It's a huge wave of a sort of divine love energy that's meant to wake up mankind to the divinity that we each actually are. And then bringing in a whole new age of peace, love, light, joy, and so forth. So we are in those moments before the dawn, right there at the finish line, as Sananda said. But because we live in time, and they live in no time, it may not occur to us like we're right there. But we are. And it is only up to each one of us to continue our individual and also this group's particular mission. And it's important for us to remember that we have the key, and we are the key to that particular group mission. And the mission is going to be accomplished by our being the one. And what's meant by that is working together as one consciousness. Wow, that's pretty something, huh? Now, meanwhile, we're beginning to remember now that everything is in the moment, and we are the moment. As we create in the moment, we actually create the new age of Gaia. So we must realize how very powerful our thoughts and words and actions are. It's something we have to really become present to. So, also said was only we can accomplish this mission. They can't do it for us, and they wouldn't interfere with our free will. But they, the guardians and the company of heaven and the ascended masters, are here for us at a moment's notice. Whenever we call for them, they're here. And that's rather comforting, is it not? So, he is called the Guardian of Dispensation, we're told, because it is a new dispensation. It is a new consciousness coming over us and over the planet, each one individually and also the collective known as humanity. And so then this wonderful guardian left us with his peace and his glory and his love. Wow, that was such a beautiful, beautiful word. Thank you so much for your words, Guardian, wherever you may be. I'm sure you can see this. Next came our wonderful one who serves. And did you know that we're in a program? And did you know, by the way, that this is not like being programmed or a program on TV, but we are here in a program that we've been preparing for a very, very long time. And we're about to complete this program, and everything's going to shift and change as we have never seen it shift and change before. That's pretty cool, huh? So we are in the moment where everything can change in the blink of an eye. And the energy is rising so swiftly, and the vibrations are increasing so fast that the galactic pulse, or the event, could come literally at any moment, right? Yeah. And in that blink of an eye, the entire consciousness can shift across the planet. Wow! That's something, huh? Woo! You know, I'm not sure I ever understood until just now how quickly this whole situation could change. That's a pretty powerful thing to think about, isn't it? So then came our questions for one who serves. And have you ever wondered how to let go of past programming, or how to deal with that sort of insatiable need we have for approval? Well, this question was in an email that was read by Joanna. And then Shoshana, her particular higher self, came on with Joanna to say that a program can be deleted by exercising the power of our will in connection to the heart center. And as I understand it, the will is like the solar plexus. So the need for approval is a cultural program designed to weaken the will center. So we have to exercise and strengthen the will center. And that's the access to it. So the same person wanted to know if her father's soul or spirit approves of her and how she is, and if those on the other side approve of her. And Shoshana said her father's spirit neither approves nor disapproves, but loves her from a place of non-duality and non-judgment. Beautiful, huh? That person wanted to also know if his or her higher self chose a physical impairment on purpose. And also, if he or she can ever enjoy the freedom of a healthy body. And Shoshana's answer was that the body is an avatar chosen by the soul for its particular growth. And she should accept the avatar her soul chose because it was chosen for the purpose of moving past duality into perfect love. And I'd also like to add from my higher self that, of course, we all have the power to change anything. And she can check in with her higher self to see if the lesson that wanted to be learned has been learned, so that she can now discard the ailment. Then she can follow that inner guidance to either accept that ailment or to find what tools she can use to heal it. And the check-in here with the higher self is very important because our higher self will override our attempts to heal or to move in a new direction if that lesson has not been learned. And it can be particularly difficult if we're trying to bang up against the higher self in the lesson he or she wants us to learn. So do check in with that higher self. And one who serves then added that it's not important what anyone else thinks of us, our loved ones, the ascended masters, or anyone out there. And it's only important how we feel about what we're doing and who we are. And we each bring something different to the table, literally bring it to the table. And one who serves then alluded to the actual table and the councils we're each going to be on. And the fact that we will be bringing things to that table, each individual and a little different, as a collective one as well. So, have you ever wondered how we can overcome sadness for the world and all that's going on out there and just be in our own personal joy? We were told by one who served that many of us feel this deep sadness for the world because of who we are as a soul being. And all of this pain and hurtfulness in this reality is very foreign to us at a soul level. And so we grieve and become sad. And that's occurred for me at some points in my life, a lot when I was younger particularly. And it's important for those of us who are empaths, and for all of us really, to be there for others, but not to really put ourselves in their shoes, so to speak. We can feel what it's like in their shoes, but not really put ourselves in them. And one who serves says we have our own shoes and our own path and our own journey. And when our journey crosses another, we can be of service, but also we want to stay firmly grounded in ourselves and our own personal journey. So this same caller wanted to know how to be more productive as a light worker. And one who serves said that's a tough question to answer because it's actually different for everyone. And many of us also don't understand what it means to be a light worker, right? Which is to say, being a light worker means to anchor and spread the light and love, and to work with the light and love. And as we do that more and more, we then become light warriors, much like Archangel Michael. You know, the workers and the warriors are one and the same, except for a little bit of a difference, that the warriors will take action and do whatever it takes to spread more and more light, more and more love across the planet, the universe, whatever. So at this point, Shoshana Joanna also added that if we change the way we look at things, what we look at is going to change as well. So a focus on the beauty instead of the pain is going to bring more beauty. And she said, we particularly as light workers and warriors have enormous power to either uplift or to push down those around us just by what we focus on. That's really something, isn't it? So have you heard about the Super Galactic Federation and the Galactic Federation's blockade? One caller heard about this from Corey Good in an interview with David Wilcox, and he wanted to know more. And we were then told that those organizations are actually the same and also different. This idea, we're told, may be difficult for our 3D brains to actually comprehend. And some of our movies and TV shows and things like Star Trek were meant to acquaint us with the Galactic Federation and the Prime Directive and other ideas, that are related to that. And here's the reason. As our planet shifts and our butterfly wings flutter, so to speak, the solar system and galaxies are affected. Something huge happens, perhaps even on the other side of the galaxy, as a result of our butterfly flutters. So all definitely is one. Meanwhile, there is and has been a blockade around the planet, so dark forces can no longer come in here, and neither can they leave and escape. And that's a pretty good thing, huh? So, how come the U.S. government is still getting away with abducting people under the guise of being ETs, even though the actual ETs, the Zeta Reticuli, are now forbidden to abduct? What's up with that? This was one of our questions. And basically we're told this is because of the Prime Directive of non-interference. And the Federation is working to curtail this kind of activity. But they can't do it directly. They can assist and guide and nudge, but they cannot actually do it. That has to be done here. And they have been working with the Alliance, and there has been much activity, there has been much of this activity that's been curtailed, and it's been diminished greatly. And we might not have heard of that yet. And then he confirmed that, yes, the Zeta Reticuli have indeed left the building. Woo! Woo! Now, if you're a light worker practitioner who works to assist people in shifting the programming, so to speak, that they've gotten through this life, you might also wish to know this. Could a person who seems to be paranoid or schizophrenic actually be a mind programming target and not just imagining it? And we're told that the dark forces are working to hold back the ascension. And when they come across someone who they feel is influential or could be influential in bringing forth the ascension, they may work to bring him or her down. But we're told this is happening much less because the vibrations are higher, and people are not being thwarted by this. Because with higher vibrations, we get a sort of a force field around us to protect us from that kind of thing. Now that's pretty cool. Now that's not magic, we're told, but it is science. Actually science. So this caller wanted to know also why she was directed to work with this person by her higher self if that was going to end so badly. And she was told that what she came to do was to bring this other part of the person out into the open, so to speak. And now that job was done. and it was not in her best interest to now work with her anymore. And by the way, we're told that this is true for any of us out there. You know, people of a lower vibration will tend to bring our vibrations down, either by attempting to do it on purpose or just doing it without knowing it. So it's sometimes best to not associate with such people of a lower vibration, or at the very least, we want to always protect ourselves by knowing we're the light and visualizing and using the light in the many ways we've been given from all kinds of resources out there. And that's particularly true with our family too. Oftentimes we don't want to just, not associate with. And of course, in any instant, we should always go within to see what's best for us. So, have you been wondering if Cobra has been compromised? This was a question we had, and one who served said, no, he has not. There have been many attempts, but he's protected, and he's also on a great mission here, and he's continuing on that mission. And then we were told that many people here say that they're directed by their higher self to do this or say that or whatnot, when really it's their egos at work, knowingly or unknowingly. And so they're, quote, unquote, directed to sort of put down another light worker or warrior. And so they do that. But Cobra, we're told, is definitely a light warrior by all means. That's good to know. So, have you wondered how to assist your young children who are clearly of the light? One caller wanted to know how to nurture her 4-year-old child who has a sort of innate knowing about aliens and that they are our friends and that he himself is from the stars. And she was told by one who serves that we nurture a child in this sense by allowing him or her to have that knowing and encouraging that knowing. And we don't make them think they're out of the ordinary. We don't put them in a box as we were put into boxes. The more we ourselves can actually step out of our own sort of drawing within the line, so to speak, and assist children in being who they are, not who others might have them be, the better it's going to be for them and for everyone. We were then told that we all, like that little boy, are from the stars. And before that, by the way, we were from the ether. And we're moving into the innermost consciousness, which is really something to think about. Shoshana then jumped in to say that this mother might also let the child know that others may not believe him if he tells them that. But that doesn't mean he's wrong. Hear, and amen to that, sister. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, right? So now, what about those guardians? Another caller wanted to know who they are, is it a collective, and is he particularly personally connected to them? And they are a collective, we're told. And there's not one, but many of them. And they have been around a very, very long time, we're told. And they came back here now because they come when there's a major shift in consciousness in a planet slash a solar system slash a galaxy. And they come at those times so they can assist in the process. And there actually is one of those major shifts happening here now. So they are here. Whoa, come on, good news, right? So, another question. Have you wondered what's the best meditative process to make the body healthy and keep it healthy? We're told it's not so much the particular practice itself, but whether we believe that practice is going to work. As soon as we doubt or question, the healing actually stops. For instance, we find out we have an illness such as cancer, and we go to a doctor. And then he prescribes radiation or chemotherapy, which is just a temporary fix and doesn't really heal the source. But what is the source? Well, here's what we're told. It is always a disconnection from the higher self, or it is our belief that there is a disconnection from the higher self. So the root to all healing is to find that connection with our higher self and nurture it and listen to the guidance from higher self. Once we know our God self, nothing can harm us. And Yeshua, or Jesus, by the way, also had to come to this knowledge. And he went through many situations, as we all do. This is what we're told by one who serves. And then he went within through meditation and such, and came to realize he and his Father, or his higher self, so that's what he was referring to in this quote, he and his Father are one. And then he went on a journey to find the masters who would work with him and take him even further. So that's the name of that thing. Are you hearing voices speaking to you? We had a person who heard this upon waking up and wanted to know if this was a sign of changes and new openings for her. And we were first the person was told that we have to trust that these things are real. And then it's not so much the messenger that counts, but it is the message. We want to listen to the message and check if it resonates with us. And if it does, great, we go with it. And if it doesn't, we discard it. And yes, she is told that we are each always at the beginning of a new opening. Of course, if we allow it. Oh, so let's see. Another person asked if he had opened a wrong door in looking for his twin flame because it didn't feel right. It didn't feel good. And we were told for everything, if it doesn't feel right, we should close that door and not open it again. Right? Because there's so much coming at us from this reality. So we may be mistaking something. So we're advised to go with the flow. And if the flow doesn't feel right, we should not go that way. And if something brings pain or ill health or doesn't resonate, we're advised to go within and ask what this means and what steps we should take now. So how about this? Here's an interesting fact. We have these great, amazing beings linked to us and assisting us. And they actually have a vested interest in that, because what happens to us really does affect them. And this is what one caller found out through a dream, and it was verified by one who serves that yes, certainly this is true. So, now what about this ancient Sphinx? Isn't it time to know about that thing? What it is, what it means, and all of that stuff? So we were told that the Sphinx is so old that it's almost incomprehensible to us. It is incomprehensible. And the Sphinx is a symbol from other civilizations and planets, and it's a continuing of the galactic process here, the galactic process. It's a symbol of Mother Sekhmet, and we're told that a very important understanding is going to come from this symbol when the consciousness grid with the ley lines and sacred sites have all been reconnected. So we now have something wonderful, some new wonderful understanding to look forward to when that happens. Oh, and here's one I bet many of you have wondered about. Is there a massive upgrade of the financial system so that the cabal cannot steal funds from it anymore? Is that happening? Please tell us yes. And we're told that everything is under control and being orchestrated. The financial system changeover is in the process. Of course, they cannot give us any kind of a date, but there have been many leaps forward in this process, or the progress of this process. So that's a good thing. And one person then wanted to know if there was some interference happening with his and his wife's ability to have a child, because they felt this special child really wished to come, but the wait and the trying was long. And he had also inadvertently called one who serves by the title one who knows. So one who serves made the point for everyone that the correct name of one who serves is is rather important because they are here to be of service to mankind, as others were of service to them in their own, sort of personal path. So the name of one who serves versus some of these other titles that we've heard out there is very important. So they tell us that they each had their own lives and physical experiences just as we have had, so it's not for them to say they know, per se. And by the way, they tell us some of them are here now in the flesh. Woo! That's pretty cool to think about. They're here and they're there at the same time. Another thing we can hardly comprehend, right, with the 3D brain. One who serves also said that it's important for these two particular individuals to let go and not to become frustrated or disconsolate. Those feelings are going to slow the process up even more, they're told. And they should ask for help, from their higher selves, and ask the one who's coming for help in how to get him or her here. And they should also get out of their own perspective to look from a higher one. Letting go, it was once again repeated, is the key, which is great advice for all of us, is it not? So, then one who serves completed this particular channeling by saying that with every vision, every thought, every visualization, we are literally creating the new age and the fifth dimensional experience. And we are reminded that the thoughts of darkness that come to us are just as powerful as those of light. And I would like to add here from my higher self that I was given this a fair time back. A good way to neutralize such thoughts that really don't serve us, thoughts of darkness or fear or whatever, is to literally cancel them and say out loud, cancel that, and then replace that thought with a new thought which creates what you actually want to create. Pretty simple, but also pretty profound, right? So with that, I thank you for listening, and I bid you all adieu. God bless and keep each one of you. I send you all my love, light, peace, fun, play, prosperity, ease, and joyous good health. Namaste.